All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, whatever. Hopefully this week's recording comes through a little bit better. I did a small test run the other day, and it seemed to come out pretty solid. So we're gonna give this we're gonna give this a whirl this week. Hopefully it comes out good, and hopefully we can get back on track with doing some more videos and stuff. But anyways, UFC Fight Night. We're back at the Apex. It seems like it's been a while. Um, I don't know anyone else's feelings on the Paramount, but I like it. I'm not going to complain about a few ads. I mean, I grew up in the '80s, so I'm used to them. But our first fight of the night is going to be a females fight. There's actually three female fights on this card, and the first one is Cachoeira versus Segula. A lot of times, people may say, "Well, you can start it a little late. We got a couple boring fights." This one could be a banger. There, there's live for a knockout in this one on either side, I think, and Segula's a newcomer, um, and Cachoeira, she's a savvy veteran. I mean, I'm not going to say she's great, but she's got some power, and I gotta lean her way at dog money at a plus 125. I have to. So I'm gonna lean Cachoeira. It's a no bet for me, but if you want to do a fun wager, you could do fight to end by knockout. But it's a no bet for me. And then our second fight of the night is Gaffarov versus Wilkas. This is truly a 50-50 fight. This fight could go either way. They're they're both more than likely going to try and grapple. I just think that Wilka's grappling is a little bit better, and I think he's a little more dangerous also on the mat. So I think he's more live to get a finish than Gaffarov is. Um, if you're on Gaffarov, I totally get it. Um, but I'm gonna lean Wilkes, but this is another one that is a no bet for me. This one here, I do have quite a bit of interest in. We've got Kong Wang versus Mora. I Now the first thing I will start off with, I do think the line's a little wide. I think I don't think Wang should be a minus 380. I think she should be more in the minus 250 range. This is going to be strictly grappler versus striker. Wang is way better striker. Um, she even could get a knockout, but I don't foresee that happening in this fight. I think Mora will have a little success wrestling, um, but not a lot. And Wang's a great kickboxer too. I believe it was back in 2015. She actually beat Valentina Shevchenko in a kickboxing match. Um, so I do like Wang here a lot. If you are gonna play her side, I would just play it by decision. It's like a plus 115 now. I played fight to go the distance minus 130. That's one of my biggest wagers. I think there's good value on that. The minus 130 actually started out at a minus 160. It's come down, and I would not be surprised if it goes back the other way before the fight starts. So I'm gonna put a little bit more on mine today before the line goes the other way, if it does go the other way. So there's my fight to go the distance minus 130. That is one of my best bets. I probably have the most amount of money on that. I'm going to estimate that I'm going to have somewhere in the vicinity of at least 3 to 4 units on it. Um, I even got greedy on another one and paired it with the over on this next fight, Brazil versus Souza over two and a half rounds. I even paired it with that on another one. and made it plus money. So you can do that, or you can leave it as a single. But saying that, we might as well just jump right into the Bruno Brazil versus Souza fight. This is another one that's going to be grappler versus striker, and I think once again I lean for the striker to get the victory here. I lean Souza. It is a close line though. It's a minus 155. Um, I think she's going to be the way better striker, higher volume, and I think she's able to stuff majority of Brazil's takedowns. Um, so that's what I like in this fight. It's a lean for Souza, but not a wager. But once again, I do like the over a lot. Oh, shoot. And then next we got Valentina Veretennikov versus Price. Price is a he's a late replacement. Um, I don't really have a big take on this fight other than um, Valentinnikov is going to be the better striker. I look and the more dangerous striker also. I look for him to get the win here. I lean him, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be putting any of my money on this fight. So to stay away from me, but I do like Veretennikov to get the victory. This one here, I do have a little bit more of a deeper take on it. We got Morono versus Donchenko. I think Donchenko is just going to be better everywhere, extremely better on the feet, higher volume, better technical striker. If Moreno's chin holds up for 3 rounds, you could see Donchenko with 100 plus significant strikes. I think he's going to piece him up. So I lean KO, but Moreno is kind of tough. If he does make it all 3 rounds, I think it's going to be a clean sweep on the cards. But I do like Donchenko, but he's a little wide. Ooh, shit, sorry, a little bit wide to use as a money line. So we got Jacoby versus Walker. I do lean Jacoby here. He's going to be the better technical striker. He's going to be the better kickboxer. I think Walker's only chance here is either a KO because he will have a little bit more power, or decide to try and grapple, which I don't really think he will, and I don't think he'll have much success even if he does. So I do like Jacoby to get the win here. And once again, I don't have anything on this fight. You're gonna see going forward. I'm gonna have a lot of fights where I might have a take or a lean, but I'm not gonna have anything on it. Just trying to cut back on my being all over the place with wagers and things like that. Next, we're gonna cover the Basharat versus Vasquez fight. I had no idea that Saeed Nurmagomedov even like wasn't fighting him anymore until literally when I was just doing my notes an hour ago to make this video. I have no idea who Vasquez is. I'll be straight up with you. I have no idea. All I know is Basharat's now a minus 700. That's all I know. And the over's a minus 260 now. So I have this is a complete stay away from me from an over standpoint, from money line standpoint, everything. So I would lean Basharat just because it's a extremely short notice replacement now. So I would definitely, it's a complete stay away from me, but I would lean Basharat. And then next we got his brother, Farid Basharat versus Matsumoto. I like this Basharat a little bit better, anyways. And I got my take is a little short and sweet on this one. I just think he's gonna be better everywhere. I think he's just gonna be a little bit better everywhere than Matsumoto. And I do like the over, but so do the books. I mean, the over 2.5 is like higher than any of the female fights. It's like a minus 500. So I would stay. I'm not going to use the over as a parlay piece. I would love to if it was in the minus 300 range, but I can't. You know, these books have really caught on to these overs. Um, a couple years ago, there was a lot of value on them, and now a lot of that value is being taken away because they've caught on to it. So I do like Basharat by decision, but you know, or in a parlay. Next, we got Olajaychuk versus Burial. You know, this is another one where there's a lot of fights on this card. Not a lot, but there's a good handful of fights on this card that I feel like the lines is too wide. I like Jaychuk as a prospect, but at a minus 400, nah, I'm gonna stay away. I mean, I lean him to get it to get a knockout, but Burial's a tough little bastard too. So I do like Olajaychuk to be the better striker, to be probably slightly higher volume striker, um, and to have the knockout power. And I do expect him to find a knockout at some point, but it's a stay away for me. Now, this next fight, I do have an opinion on this one, pretty heavy. Um, Jelton Almeida versus Kuniev. I personally think the UFC is doing Kuniev wrong. I think they're bringing him up a little too fast. His first fight was versus Blades. Now he's fighting Almeida. I feel like he should have fought Romanov and Gaziev, or even both, or somebody else, But the UFC decided to bring him along a little bit faster. Kuniev came over from the PFL. I think he might have been the champ there at one time. I'm not 100% on that, but he was one of their top heavyweights, and I had high hopes for him. He's a Russian fighter, but I think on the feet, I do think Kuniev's got an advantage, but I think Almeida is going to do exactly what he did to Alexander Volkov and Curtis Blades. Takedown after takedown after takedown if he doesn't get the submission. Now, I don't think he personally gets the sub, but he could. So, I'm playing this. I'm playing Almeida money line and over 1.5 rounds, minus 105. If you want to get a little greedy and add 1+ takedowns, that's a plus 110. Now, I will say this. I did play fight over 1/2 round and 1+ takedown without a winner as a parlay piece on DraftKings. You can do those. You can make a little 2-piece parlay like that on DraftKings. And I used that. I can't even remember what I paired it with. But that was like a minus 250. I might have paired it with the Wang fight to go to the distance, to be honest. I think it made it like a plus 110 or something like that. Something. Actually, I take that back. The one takedown and over 1/2 rounds minus 400. If you do 2 takedowns and over 1/2 round, it's like a minus 150. I do also like another one, and that is, let's see if I can find it. It's all the way at the bottom. And that is Almeida over 2.5 takedowns plus 110, and then also sprinkle on a ladder. Now, the way I do a ladder is if I have 1 unit on my over 2.5, I make sure that I have no more than a unit on the entire ladder, so that if I get the over 2.5 right, but nothing else comes through, then I at least break even. That's the way I like to do it. I don't like to put full units on both. I just don't think that's a I don't think that's a long term, you know, making money way to do it. But that's just me. And then our co-main event is Alabazi versus Horiguchi, another striker versus grappler. I mean, we're seeing that theme throughout this entire card. I think he's purposely doing this. I think he wants to get rid of all the boring ass grapplers. I mean, to be honest, that's what I think Dana White's goal is. I mean, he wants the UFC to be violent and be exciting again, which is going to hurt my overs. But what are you going to do? So we got Albazi versus Horiguchi. Horiguchi's going to be way better on the feet, like way better. And Alabazi's takedowns are very question mark. Like he hasn't had very good success against anyone that's any good. So I like Horiguchi a lot here. I like his significant strikes here. I didn't play it, but I do like it. I did use his most significant strikes in the parlay piece, but I like Horiguchi a lot. So if you can find a way to squeeze him into a parlay, I recommend it. Then our last and final fight, we got Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira. Don't get this mixed up with Charles. So it's not Charles. And I like Bautista. I think this is a good bounce back spot for him. I think it's a good number. If Bautista would have won his last fight, he probably would have been talking a title shot, but he didn't. So we're not talking that. But I think he's going to be the better fighter. I think he's going to be the better technical fighter. I think this fight goes longer. But I will say this: Oliveira's shot to win this fight is an early knockout. That's his shot, in my opinion. If this fight gets past the third round, I think Oliveira is going to slow down, and that's when we're going to start seeing Bautista starting to piece him up. And I actually don't mind the over either. I didn't use it as a single or as a best bet, but at a plus 114, I don't mind that at all. And I wouldn't even mind looking at fight to start the fifth round rather than over 4.5. It's probably a minus 120 range, I'm going to guess. I haven't looked it up, but I'm guessing that. Or even the over 3.5. Like if that's in the minus 140 range, that's solid too, I think. But anyways, getting off on a tangent, my wager for this fight is this right here. Bautista money line, fight to go over 1.5 rounds, plus 105. I like that quite a bit, actually. So that's my wager for this fight. And that's pretty much all we got for UFC Fight Night. I'm going to pull up my singles and my parlays just so that anyone that hasn't seen them can see them real quick. If you want to take a screenshot of it or whatever, you can. Here's a couple parlays I played that I haven't really talked a lot about. I got Horiguchi, most significant strikes. Bautista, most significant strikes, minus 108. If you want to get a little greedy and add Basharat for 30-plus strikes, that makes it a plus 120. Then my second one, I did two of these because of me having so much on Wang and Mora as a single also. I did this parlay in case you don't want to have that much invested into one fighter coming through for you type of thing. So I did Wang and Mora over 2.5 rounds and Brazil and Sosa over 2.5 rounds, plus 101. And then I converted to this one, which I got Bautista in a single anyways, so it made no sense now that I think about it for me to do this, but I got Bautista versus Oliveira start round 3 and Brazil and Sosa over 2.5 rounds, minus 128. So there's a couple options for you on parlays. And then I'll pull up my singles real quick, which I've already gone over all of them, but we will touch base on them again. We've got Wang versus Mora, fight to go the distance, minus 130. Almeida money line and over a half a round, minus 105. Bautista money line over 1.5 rounds, plus 105. And Almeida over 2.5 takedowns, plus 110. Those are my singles for UFC Fight Night. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope we can cash some tickets here. If you have any questions or comments, please do. Please leave the video a like if you could, please. And thank you for watching. And everybody have a great weekend. And I might do a short video tomorrow for a couple Super Bowl wagers, but we'll see how that goes. But everybody have a great weekend.